So welcome everybody to this Fireside chat. I'm so delighted to have the queen of video with me today, Olivia Rose Solomons. Oliv, thanks ever so much for joining us. I'll give you a brief intro, but feel free to put into your own words what it is you do. But guys, Liv is, as I said, queen of video, specifically for kind of recruitment and staffing. She's an expert presenting and video skills coach, performer, presenter, leader in video transformation for global organizations. And she's helping us and you, our Vinny community, get the most out of video in your day-to-day. Liv, what did I miss out?
That was such a great introduction. I don't really feel like I need to add much more to that. That encapsulated what I do really well when I'm training and coaching with teams and leaders and, basically helping them to become video champions for their brand and that business. Yeah, you did a great job.
Oh, thank you. Good. I feel a bit nervous actually. I've got my ring light, I've got my setup, I knew I was speaking to, so I'm trying to get my optimum video game on. And so we've had way more questions from our community than we actually anticipated. So we've just done our soft launch of Vimeo, the video interviewing and Chrome outreach app designed for Vincere. I've got 10 questions here. We've got 30 minutes. 10 questions from 10 different countries as well, by the way.
That's awesome. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to hopefully planting seeds today to give people some, inspiration in their own video journey. So bring it on.
Okay. Question number one, simple one, but what kind of preparation needs to be done before filming a video? Any best practice tips?
Yes, is the answer to that. So often when I'm training with teams or, running sort of the introduction to video skills in my webinars and whatnot, I like to tackle the preparation in 3 different layers. So I always tell people, check yourself, check your tech, and check your environment. So what I mean by self is, it's kind of 2-pronged, to be honest, because part of it is also, how are you showing up? What are you wearing? Have you done a little rehearsal? What's your message? That's part of it. And the other part of it is also what can happen internally. So checking yourself in terms of, does the camera bring up nerves for you? Does it bring up, do you question yourself? Do you doubt yourself? It's checking that as well. And having self-compassion, going gently and just remembering to have a sense of humor. Video, this medium, it's a communication tool. And the more that you can be yourself, that's where the magic happens. That's where the freedom to play and share this message with your candidate, or, maybe you're trying to attract a new client, when you can just be you. And yes, it's that buzzword authenticity, but when you can be that authentic best, you're going to be more present. If video is innate for you, then awesome, great, you can skip ahead. But for most of us,
it's not for many people though, is it? It's kind of scary, I think.
Yeah, it brings things up. So definitely it's an opportunity for self-reflection and learning, and to see where you may hold judgments of yourself or of others, because even when we watch other videos, sometimes, we're meaning-making machines. We might make judgments on others, and that can be a real insight actually to ourselves and where we hold judgment too.
So I've been following you on LinkedIn for quite a while, because obviously you coach recruitment and staffing firms on how to use video. So I'm quite nosy. I've looked at how you do this for months now. When you go onto your LinkedIn, as I did just prior to this call, and anyone who's on the webinar, connect with Olivia Rose Solomons, and you'll see what I mean. But I love how you've used video in your actual LinkedIn profile photo, and you're so relaxed and so happy, and it's not stage kind of managed. It's just you with a smartphone being you. That was so engaging, I think.
And I really do feel that, some people, and it's so natural to get stuck initially. Most of my clients say it took me 10 takes before I got that video. And I'm like, welcome to the club. Because if this is new, you don't go onto a cricket field and you don't think, oh, I'm going to hit a 6 today on my first go. No, it takes a bit of training before you can whack that and hit a 6. I'm sorry, I'm not actually that great at cricket, so hopefully I'm using the right terminology. But it's that thing of, you're having the expectations in check as well. But yeah, in terms of LinkedIn, yes, please connect. And yeah, check out my profile video. I'm always happy to receive feedback myself. But I did do that really, just in the office. I updated it last week. I was in Melbourne for business and I just recorded it on my phone, and I didn't overthink it. That's the practice, right? If you've done one practice, it's kind of like a book. If it was one page, you could rip it in half. But once you've done 200 practices, if you think of a book and 200 pages, you can't rip that. It's in your muscle memory. Sure, we might have days where we feel a bit off or a bit rusty, but once you've got that practice under your belt, your confidence is going to grow. Your comfortability in front of the camera is going to be there. It's not going to be something that you have to conjure up each time, because you've got it in your skill set now.
And so one question, it sort of bleeds into the next question actually, which was and this came up a lot. This question is from an MD who's based in Sweden, and her question is around, I want my recruiters to start posting more videos. They're Vimeo customers. How can I drive user adoption and get my recruiters using video in their day-to-day? Any tips?
Yeah, great question. So I would say, when any business wants to implement video as part of their strategy, firstly, you need to have the leadership buy-in. That is, it's got to be driven from top and bottom. What I would say is leaders need to know, businesses need to know, what impact is it that you want to create? It's like, any change management piece in a business, you need to be able to articulate that change or that impact well, so that you can get people on board, so that you can inspire and you can relay, what the steps are, what the stages are, how people are going to be supported, so that it's not just, here's a tool, go off and do it. As I said before, this is a new skill to many. So support along the way, education, training, a video awareness in a business is very much needed. But I, in terms of getting people to post more and to create more videos, then yes, you need to lead, you need to know what the impact is, and then I would be working backwards. So having a very clear use case, I would say, is a really sound place to start. And what I mean is, if you're implementing video, where do you want your recruiters to start? Do you want them to do a video job ad, or do you want them to begin with, do that LinkedIn video in that profile photo? Because if everyone does it together, it's a team activity. It's a starting point. It's one that people can play around and be more relaxed. If people are in the office, they can grab a buddy, film it together. When we learn together, it often takes the pressure off. So being clear on the use case, clear direction, clear vision is going to help. Understanding what the impact is and how you're going to measure it, all of those things help. But yeah, as a starting point, maybe it's do a LinkedIn video. That's the first task. And maybe the second one is, guys, we've got all these job families. So why don't we think about building a video library for each? Maybe you have placed 5 candidates in that same business or that similar role. Perhaps we go and interview these candidates now and ask them about their job and their experience, and interview them and have a conversation, and that becomes part of our video library. So it's not even always that we need to create a fresh video every time. Sometimes if we've got a library and a bank of videos ready to go, now we can use them to embed them into an email campaign, or to send them to our talent pool, or share them on socials. So that's another really easy one where people can start to, whether it's being in front of the camera or behind the camera, we're still going to be learning and picking up these new skills.
It's really interesting because even though we launched Vimeo really recently, what we're seeing with the Chrome app is that people aren't necessarily using it for BD outreach. They're actually using it to engage at different stages of the process. So, I'm a recruiter in England recruiting candidates in New York, for example. That's a heck of a time difference. I can do interview feedback, or hey, good luck for the interview via Vimeo, send it off. so much more engaging than an email.
And, like you said, engage at every stage. So look at your recruitment process, like end to end, the first point of contact, think of the emails, all the automated communications as well. We're in the business of people. So how can we humanize this experience and really nurture that candidate engagement, not just to get them an interview, but, maybe it's tips on how can we help you prepare for this interview, because I know my client well and I know what they'll be looking for, or I know how they're going to show up on that video interview. So I want to give them a heads up so they'll feel more comfortable. There's so many opportunities to connect in a really genuine way. And if you can't do it face to face, like you just said, if you're in the UK and your candidate is, in another country and another state, then in my humble opinion, then video is often the next best thing to that face-to-face, in-person interaction. And not just for candidate outreach, but also for, client outreach as well. So,
and also internally as well, Liv. Like when we were dog fooding Vimeo, we actually used Vimeo to template out our internal review questions, like our staff review questions. So we all did our internal review on Vimeo. Got some great feedback on usability, before we launched. But it was so much more effective and engaging for me to speak to my team in Sydney, for example, instead of them just typing out their review kind of feedback.
Even what we're doing now, we're doing a fireside chat. And if you had a business that maybe a lot of people are working from home right now because of the climate, or maybe it's a global business, so people are in different geographies, what a way to introduce a new staff member. They might be dealing with Sweden or the UK every week, but when are they actually going to meet their colleagues? Yeah. If they're in another country. So what a way to do a video interview, do a fireside chat like this, and share that on your internal communication system to say, hey, we've just had Joshua start in our team, and get to know him, and, be sure to drop him an email or send him a video back to welcome him.
You've been working with recruitment and labour hire and staffing firms all over the place, all over the world.
Yeah. Yes.
And coaching them on how to use video. What are the best ways you've seen recruiters leverage videos? And feel free to name, give shout outs to some of your clients, show them the love. We're all interested.
Well, I'll talk about a company, and then I can think of a couple of individuals as well. People to people, Australia, New Zealand,
amazing
recruitment.
Business.
Yeah, I mean, if you go over to their YouTube channel now, I think they have 15,000 subscribers, which for any recruitment business of their size is very substantial. I know a lot of us are on YouTube these days, but we're not always on it for that purpose. But they were very clear with their KPIs, from my understanding. They wanted video to be part of the DNA. Mark Smith, who was the Sydney manager who helped to implement it with the help of Greg Savage, they had very clear goals. They wanted all of their recruiters to make a video for each job that they had, or a video a week. And what they initially did was they went out to the business and said, who wants to be part of it? Instead of forcing people, it's kind of like, who wants to be a video ambassador? Who wants to be learning these skills and part of this next phase of our business and leading that change? So I think they started with 10 recruiters. And at the time, I think they were maybe a business of 70. I'm pretty sure that's doubled since then. But they had clear KPIs, and it is part of their DNA. And if you type in people to people in your search engine, whether you're just on the first page or you click videos, there's just so much that you can learn. And they've categorized their YouTube into different playlists. So if you were a client thinking about whether or not you wanted to work with them, there's no gaps in your research. Right. There. If you were a candidate wanting to understand more about a job or a job family, or the kind of recruiter you're going to end up working with, and what the culture is like at that recruitment company, there's going to be no gaps. Like, every recruiter, it spread. They started with 10 and, so they've really leveraged it in terms of sharing these videos and driving it to their careers website and really bringing their brand to life. I know who People to People are because of their video impact.
And one brilliant thing as well that you just mentioned there, every single recruitment firm that we work with is trying to hire. They're trying to get recruiters to join. What a fantastic way to showcase your culture and attract talent to you, not just the candidates and clients.
Absolutely. And we are, we're meaning-making machines. So when we watch video, well, yeah, we are. You look, you judge. I know we like to think we don't judge, but we kind of do. It's good to, regulate that. But, when you look at a video, you're looking at that person. Your subconscious is also looking at the background. We're trying to, if I worked there, oh, that office looks nice. Or, who walked back in that frame there? They looked really relaxed to be filming with people walking around. That says a lot about them and that culture, actually. And it's also the nonverbal, that's the other part of this meaning making that we do. We get to see through their body language all the things that they're not verbalizing that we can really develop more connection with. Another person, I'll go to an individual now, Timothy O'Toole, who I've coached. This was at the end of 2020 and a little bit at the beginning of 21. And he really wanted to, create a video series for himself, more thought leadership and be sharing that industry news with candidates and also updating clients as well with, industry insights. And he wanted to work with some new clients. And I just said, why not send them a video? Why not direct message them in their LinkedIn a video? Like, what have you got to lose? You've tried reaching out, you haven't heard back from them yet. What have you got to lose? And the thing about sending someone a video is that they can watch it in their own time. Whereas sometimes we don't pick up a phone call because it's not convenient, or we know the conversation that they want to have and we're not ready for it yet. But if you send them a video, they can press play in their own time, and then they might be pleasantly surprised, especially if you've been thoughtful and considerate, mindful of your time and their time, and you're sending them a video about how you feel, you could work with them and help them. And that did win him business. And I just thought it's how easy was that for him to, like I did in my LinkedIn video, I just shot off my phone really casually. That's what he did. It wasn't in a studio. It wasn't with lighting and hair and makeup. It was just a message, a genuine, video message from him to the client, and it got him work. So easy.
I mean, it's interesting because my team here at Vinny, we've used video for quite a while. We've had some real success stories with our own sales team using Vimeo to do outreach, and the feedback that we get is, wow, it really stands out. People still aren't really using it as a norm, I think. The other piece of feedback that one of our top salespeople's had is that, he was quite persistent with video, so he'll send a few. People say, listen, I've seen you on video 3 times now. I just feel like I know you. I feel really rude to ignore you. I'm gonna have to speak to you. Come on then.
Yes, because it's like you have met in person. Yeah, absolutely.
I know. It's quite clever.
It is.
Next question. So, running out of time here. I'm gonna pick the best one. Right, this is more a comment. I don't know how to start or end a video. I feel awkward. Help.
Welcome. Embrace the awkwardness. So firstly, I would say, and I will give you some practical tips there, but what I want to say about feeling awkward on camera, firstly, it's natural. Second, the more we can embrace our quirks and our own weirdness and our own awkwardness, it actually makes our audience feel better. If you think about the videos that have gone viral, like if you think of newsreaders, the ones that have gone viral are not the ones where they are delivering a message perfectly. It's the ones where their kid has walked into the room, or they've accidentally dropped the F-bomb or something like that. And all of a sudden you have a moment of them being completely real without the persona, without that professional mask on. So firstly, again, be kind, lean into the awkwardness, lean into all of these really lovely parts that make us a human being. But secondly, in terms of, starting a video, practice a few different intros, with or without the camera, but actually put 15 minutes of rehearsal aside and think, how would I like to welcome someone? If I was having a party, how would I welcome them into my home?
Okay.
How would I want them to feel? Like if you are rushing at the last minute, right up to the last minute, if you're having a party, then you're going to answer the door a bit stressed and disheveled and like, ugh. But if you've done all the preparation in advance, you've done your practice, maybe you've done some breathing, some mindfulness, and you've just spoken aloud, hi there, I'm Liv, and today I want to share this awesome opportunity with you. Or, hi there, I'm Eloise, and today I'm going to welcome you to our business and get you started on a great onboarding journey. Actually just speaking it out loud, walking around the room, walking around your home, getting it in your body. So walk and talk, do the practice. I would recommend filming yourself just in short segments. So film a 10-second introduction, practice filming thanks for watching my video. That's all it has to be. Or if this opportunity sounds like something for you, we look forward to hearing from you. Or if you found this, useful and there's someone in your network who you think might like to learn about this opportunity, please share the video. So it's really think about how you would normally speak in conversation. It's that Maya Angelou quote too, people don't always remember what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. So it's thinking about, what do I want to leave as an imprint, whether this person takes the job or not, whether this client decides to work with me or not, how do I want to make them feel? Because that resonance will become memorable. But yeah, practice it in bite-sized bits, get it in your body, get out of your head. We're not always the best critics of ourselves. So look for facts and evidence. If you are having an imposter that's coming up and telling you that it's no good and that sounded silly and why are you doing a video, be your own detective, check the narratives that you're running and come back to getting it in your body and practicing aloud and really feeling out what feels natural and conversational for you.
Just a practical tip, I guess. So if I'm using Vimeo to say, do an outreach to a new client or maybe pitch a job to a candidate and I don't have a relationship there already, how long do you think that outreach video should be, roughly?
Yeah, a short video is a good video.
Okay.
We're all busy, we're all busy people. So in any kind of communication, whether it's an email, a phone conversation or a video, you do want to have done your preparation. And if you can communicate that succinctly and authentically, then, you're already winning. So look, if it's a introduction, you're trying to establish a new relationship, you definitely, you want to share why you're reaching out, what you can maybe do differently, maybe a passion, maybe a fun fact about yourself. But if you've thought this through and you've done a practice run, you can definitely do that in 1 to 2 minutes. You definitely can.
I told my team, keep it to 60 seconds. Keep it short, sweet, and that should be enough to hook them.
And you know what? That's what the LinkedIn profile videos, that's why doing that is also so good, because you've got 30 seconds. So
is that right?
Yeah, it's time. So it's such a good skill, because it's, when we pitch or when we're, making that first impression, it does make you choose your words. It does make you think about your time and theirs. So that's actually a really good exercise to get you in that, to get those muscles working. So yeah, a short video is a good video. If you're going to do longer videos, you just want to think about the engagement factor and what the value add is. If you keep adding value, people will keep watching. If you walked a mile in their shoes and you keep speaking their language, then you can go longer. People will immerse themselves in that communication as if you were there, if it's so relevant, and if it resonates with them. So 1-2 minutes tops.
Fantastic. So I'm a recruitment owner, I'm a recruitment MD. I'm thinking of investing in a video tool. Could be Vimeo, could be whatever. What one piece of advice would you give to me?
Okay, so before you invest in any tool, it really comes back to what is the impact? What are you wanting this to achieve for you, your business, your employees? Because you can have any of these tools, but unless you have that clarity and unless you can articulate that really well, there are certain programs and things that will, fall away. So be really clear about the use cases, be really clear about your plan and implementation and what it is you want to create. That would be my first piece of advice. This is that emotional connection, the trust, the opportunities, the kinds of relationships that will form. In my personal humble opinion, you're doing yourself a disfavor if you haven't implemented it yet. So jump on, get on board.
Yeah, and ultimately, the results will speak for themselves. It will drive revenue and it will give you a competitive edge. So, get on the video train, recruiters.
It's this sensorial experience. When you go to the movies and you're watching James Bond and your heart starts racing and your palms start sweating, it's because when our senses are full, we start having a bodily reaction. So that's what video does. We have the visual, we have the audio, we've got your verbal, your non-verbal, and all of a sudden, the chances of this medium, impacting the way we think and our own behaviors, become so much greater because you are forming a deeper connection. You are telling a greater story.
We are so grateful that you're going to be helping us with kind of tips so we can help our customers get the most out of video, because it is a new tool for lots of us. How else, if someone's watching this and just thinks, I'm so interested in video and I need more help, how could they connect with you? And, you've got your boot camp, so how can they
I do. Yeah, look, the easiest is to either direct message me through LinkedIn or send me an email at hello@glowwithliv.com. Liv, short for Olivia. Find me on LinkedIn, say that you saw this chat, send me a video and tell me what your biggest takeaway was. That would be cool. Champion you. I will share your video with your permission if you do that. Or at the very least, just to start pushing out of that comfort zone. At the very least, if you don't feel comfortable sending me a video, send me a voice note on LinkedIn. Let's at least get that sense activated. Let me learn more about you through hearing the sound of your voice, because that's another super connection point.
Well, thanks ever so much for sharing some of your video expertise and passion as well. It really comes through that you are such a believer in video, and I just want to go and film a video now.
It's such a pleasure, and I'm so happy to be working with you. I just think this is such a great tool. I think it's such a great opportunity for your community of recruiters and businesses. Such a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you.